Hey, it's Kevin here. I am with Coach Willie Taggart. There's a ton of Knowles fans in South Florida. I don't know if you know that, but it's just crazy. Like when I go out, man, there are a lot of Knowles fans, and there's a lot of friction that goes on here in South Florida. There's a school called University of Miami, and the Canes are down here, and so it's kind of a battleground. And I last year went to my first ever game in Tallahassee to see the Canes and the Knowles, and it was quite a battle that went down. I don't know if you caught any tape of that, but the second half is quite an interesting thing. Now, the Knowles went through an uncharacteristic year for them last year, and you are a big part of the change that has come in here. And I think a lot of the Florida State fans I talked to in South Florida are asking a little bit about, okay, well, what's the team going to look like? What is the culture? And what would you say with the program that you're bringing in is going to be some of the biggest differences that is a diehard Knowles fan you're going to see attitude that maybe has changed in the program and the way the team is going to look on the field this year?
Well, I think that's kind of difficult question to ask because I wasn't here last year, so I don't know what that's like. But I do know with our football team and what the things that we do and the culture that we want. Again, I think what you'll see differently is offensively. Things we're doing it will be differently. You won't see us huddling. You'll see the tempo being a little faster than what it's been in the past. But I think getting a team that plays together, plays for each other, and plays with a lot of emotion and passion and highly competitive every time they show up to play. That's what we want, and get it back to the Florida State way of where they dominate.
What are the pieces that you inherited with your program that you see that you're most excited to work with and maybe try something different, and somebody that maybe was on your roster that you think this year is going to take a different step based on what you're going to be able to put them through and how you're going to use them?
Well, I like all of our players. I think all of them are really talented, some more talented than others. So I think we had a really good spring ball and got a good understanding of what we're dealing with as a staff and the players we have. And again, it's not necessarily trying to change anything. It's just doing what we do. Putting our players in the best position to be successful. And like I say, I'm excited about all of them. I think we have some talented players, and it's on us as coaches to put them in position to be successful.
What about your quarterback situation that is going to be happening there? You've got a quarterback that was hurt early in the year, and then another one that stepped in and carried out the rest of the year. What are we looking at right now? Do you have a QB1? Is it completely wide open?
Yeah, it's completely wide open. We have 3 quarterbacks on our roster that I think are capable of running this football team, leading this football team, and winning some ball games for this football team. And it's a good situation to be in, and we're allowing those guys to compete for the job and separate themselves to show not only me and our staff, but to show their teammates that they're the one to lead this football team. So we have some talented guys at that position, and we're going to allow them to compete for it.
What would you say for each one is their biggest strength, and maybe the thing where you need to see improvement the most on?
Well, I think Francois, his strength is his experience. He's played a lot. He's won a lot of ball games. He can throw the football, and he can also run with the football. He can do it all. And I think Blackman, he's a young guy that's still in development, and he can throw the football, and he can do the things we need to do. He probably don't run as well as Francois, and he doesn't necessarily need to, but he's very competitive, and he can throw the football, which you need to be able to do at the quarterback position.
No, absolutely.
And then you got a kid, Bailey Hopman, who's the son of a coach and who's been coached well, and also can throw the football well. And he's just young and don't have any experience that those other 2 guys have because he hadn't played in the game yet. But he's talented enough to get the job done. But I think the most important thing for all of them and what they have to get better at, one is continue to understand the offense better because it's new for them. So they got spring ball to start on that. And I think the biggest thing is leading this football team and getting their football teammates to play for them. And that's on each one of those guys to be able to do that. They have to do that. I can't do it for them. But that's what it's going to take to be the starting quarterback of this football team, is the guy that can rally the troops and get the guys to play for him.
Who would you say that you have on your roster right now that might not be that household name that you see the potential, that you can't wait to unleash this season, that you think is going to emerge as that next big Florida State star?
Well, I just go back to two guys just from the spring game that I felt comfortable about was Kalen LeBron and Tamarion Terry. I mean, both of those guys are really good football players and had a really good spring. And I saw a lot out of Tamarion doing bowl practice that had me excited back then. And I was still excited throughout 15 practices of spring ball of what he's capable of doing. And DJ Matthews, another kid that's very talented and had a really good spring. And I'm excited about what he can do within our offense. Defense side of the ball, Brian Burns has stepped up big time, and I think he's going to have a really good season. One of our freshmen, I mean, he could continue to go the way that he's been going. Jaden Woodby, been really impressed with him. I mean, he's impressed everybody. He's come in and he's done everything he said he were going to do.
Mm-hmm. Now, I know sometimes when you start dipping down here a little bit into South Florida that, you sometimes make some people nervous down around here, and recruiting is a tough thing in this state with all the programs that we have. But let's say right now, if you had 3 high schools that you could walk into and you could sign any kid, any player that they had on their roster, what 3 schools would you put at the top of your list?
That's tough.
Okay.
That's tough in the state, because of you can find a good football player that's not on championship teams that can help their team win, and that's what we're looking for, is winners and good football players, and really it doesn't matter necessarily what school you come from. Is do you fit what we're trying to do? Are you the type of person we want in our football program? So that's tough to just pick out 3 schools.
I figure Manatee's probably got.
Well, that would be one of them. But again, it's tough because there's so many great schools here in the state and so many great players, and we're going to try to do everything we can to make sure we cover every school in this state and not leave any rock unturned.
Okay, and I guess to those people that might be kind of curious to see you down in these parts, are you going to be making any return trips to South Florida and saying hello to any of the kids that are going to be down here, and when might you be back?
Oh, yeah. Whenever I can get down and recruit, we're definitely going to be down in South Florida.
Okay.
I think every program that I've taken over, we've had a kid from down here, and understand that they're great football players down here, and these kids are passionate about what they do, and those kind of guys we want on our football team. And so we're going to be down here again, searching and crawling through the entire state of Florida to get the very best football player to help us.
Cool, very cool. I appreciate it, Coach. And whenever I talk to a former Hilltopper, I always got to ask, because I'm still trying to figure out,
what's the Hilltopper?
What is the mascot? What is that mascot?
He's full of joy.
Is that what it is? Okay. He's full of joy. Coach Taggart, I appreciate you taking a couple minutes.
Appreciate
man.
you.
Always great.
Yes,
All
sir.
right. Be good.